Hi there, my name's Andrew from Park Reynolds Boat Sales, and behind me I have what can only be described as a beast, a monster of a Cobra rib. It's actually my favourite Cobra rib. The 8.7 with twins I think is such an absolutely epic combination. We've taken this boat out, we've done drone video of it, and you can see the overhead shots here of this boat powering along, and there's something so special about a rib of this size with twin engines. Now this one is very special because it has every single optional extra that could be possibly fitted to this rib. Now that includes a bow thruster, a bimini, an outdoor shower, a heads compartment, a front sunbathing pad, Halo Dash, which is the later generation of Cobra Dash, which I'll show you in a minute. This boat is epic. You might be able to tell, completely love it. So carry on watching the walkthrough tour, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in a minute to show you the rest of this rib. Okay, so let's start at the bow of this Cobra rib. The first thing that you'll notice is the really striking colour scheme. So you have black carbon tubes, so it's got a carbon impression weave into the tube. Obviously it's Hypalon tube, so the highest quality of tubes. And then you also have this fantastic Silvertex, sort of a burnt orange colour, which has got the Bentley stitching in it as well, which just looks incredible. I think the combination of the black and the orange really sets this boat off. But let's run through the functional side of the Cobra as well as the really cool features. So the first functional thing that I didn't mention in the intro, but very important, this boat has a windlass. Now a lot of big ribs, you end up lifting an anchor out, throwing it over the side. Always makes me really nervous as well, because when you've got an anchor chain or even a rope under tension, you can damage the tubes. But of course, this doesn't have that. So if you lift this up here, then you can see nestled in here, Cobra have built in an extra fiberglass plate on the top there, and on sits there a really powerful anchor winch. You've got windlass buttons up here, and then on the helm position, you also have a indicator to let you know how much chain has actually been let out, and you have controls for the windlass by the helm as well. So if you're just single-handed, you can let the anchor drop from here, whilst of course making sure you've taken off the keep that keeps the anchor safe in case it were to let go accidentally. So we pop that back into position. You have two really good sized lockers on each side on here. You've got a bag there for the cover. As you can see, it's all gelled inside there and kept absolutely immaculately. In case you wonder why there's a bicycle pump on a Cobra rib, the reason is of course because the seats, which I'll show you in a minute, are suspension seats. They don't look like they are, but the seats have got a gas strut in them, which means that as you go through the waves, you've probably got about 1.5 to 2 inches worth of travel just to take that pressure out of the sea. You've got another compartment on this side, don't need to show you, but that's exactly the same as that side, so really good storage space. Now because this boat's got a bow thruster fitted to it, you have a section which is cut out there in the middle. The Allen screws take them out because you won't need to get into that section all the time, but if you need to service the bow thruster, you've got the option to get through there just inside. 2 steps. I've always mentioned about these steps because I think they're such an important feature. When you're stepping in and out of a rib, sometimes it's quite a long way to go from the deck right up to a pontoon. You don't have such problems on this boat because you just use the steps, and that gives you a really nice on and off, and you've got a step there and then also a step on the a step just there by the U-shaped seating. So both really simple, easy options just to get on board the Cobra. Now, as you would imagine with a really high-end rib, you have a heads compartment. I'll grab the camera in a second just to show you inside here. But you have in here an excellent little heads compartment. So it's got LED lighting inside there. You've got a stainless steel sink and tap that pumps out into a holding tank and then gets discharged from there. Now the front sun pad area here, the U-shape, the cushions are stored just inside there as well. And you can see they've got the diamond stitch on. So that's a nice little addition there. So if you are caught out at sea and need to use the loo, you've got the option there. And of course you have got the suicide seat on the front as well. So it's a great place for children because it's nice and safe. You're hunkered right in here, but you have got the grab handles here. So if you do have people, this tends to be the driest seat in the house as well. You get the best ride, great visibility forward, hold on, and this is a great place to be. So some little touches, I'll just point them out as we go along. If you just look down here, you'll see that these little catches, which are the bungees for the sun pad cushion, they're aimed forward. And that's because, of course, with the weight of going forward, the pressure of going over waves, some of those, if they were faced the other way, could undo themselves. But by angled forwards, it just means it keeps that really nicely under pressure. The synthetic teak is a multi-teak system, so it's made to look a bit more genuine. So you've got different coloured planks as you go through. And then we move to the dashboard. Now the dashboard is dominated with this halo style. Now this again is an upgrade. It gives you the ability to have two side-by-side screens. This is an upgraded Mercury vessel view screen, so you've got all of your Mercury data on here. And this is a Garmin chart plotter. This also powers all of the entertainment on board the boat. So it's got a full Fusion sound system, which again is an upgraded system, as you would expect. It's got a sub, it's got an amp, and it's got multi-speakers. That can be controlled there, or you can just pop that off and then walk up to the bow, walk to the back, and you've got a remote control for your Fusion sound system as well. The Halo dash, we'll put that on the right way around. There we go. The Halo dash looks lovely. It's got this sweeps up, and then you can see CNC'd into each of these is the nav lights, anchor lights, you know exactly what everything is, and it's all backlit there as well. And then something I haven't seen on the 8.7 before, a bow thruster. So you've got a slip and a bow thruster, press both buttons to turn it on. We're now on a rib with a bow thruster. Pretty cool. Garmin VHF, and then a few little touches that you've got on it as well. You've got a scan strut charging point down there. So for your mobile phone, if you're going along and want to just charge your phone, just lift your phone, drop it into there. That's now charging automatically. And then battery isolators on ribs are quite often hidden away at the back, and they sometimes can be a bit difficult to get to. On this boat, it's got the remote switches. So you've got battery 1, battery 2, and then your house battery just up here at the helm. Really easy to turn them on and off. And then if we move on to this side, you've got the twin keys to turn everything on. The all-important kill cord is just in there as well. And then you can see the Nautique kick plate at the bottom that you put your feet onto. What that is brilliant, because it means that when you're in the driving position, you can really hunker into it, both in the bolster up position with the seat, or if you push that down, you can sit there really nicely. And you can probably just about see with my bulk, the seat is just moving up and down ever so slightly as you go through. I said I'd refer to it later. That's the windlass control there. So as you let the anchor down, it tells you how many meters of chain have actually gone out. So important anchoring to make sure you've got enough chain down, and that just takes all the guesswork out of it. So that's the dash. I love the fact that you've got this really sturdy stainless steel pole rail as you walk all the way round, and then again you've got handholds all the way about. So as you move about this rib, if you're out at sea in a bay, everywhere you move to, it's really safe to get around, which is so important when you're out with your family. Talked about storage. There's 2 storage lockers in here. Now this one's a brilliant space to have your mobile phone, because you've got 2 charging points in there. So mobile phones can be put into there, and then you can change the colour of the speakers with a Fusion remote control, which is in there as well. Just close that up. This one here is exactly the same but without the charging points, so it's just a nice little cubby hole there again to put phones or anything you wanted. And then this large locker underneath, you can also use it as just a standard storage locker, but it does have a refrigeration unit in it. So that whole locker there, you've got a couple of holders there for wine bottles. That whole locker space there turns into a Dometic fridge. So that cools that whole area and just keeps that everything that for a day out on the water, you've got the option of having a fridge, which is pretty cool. So the U-shaped seating at the back, Cobra introduced this U-shaped design in 2017. This is a 2022 model year boat. And this, I think, is fantastic when you have groups of friends around, because you can now start to get a lot of people at the back of the boat just enjoying their day out in the water. So you can comfortably get 4 people around the back here, a couple of people standing up. But what if you're in a bay? What if you want to have some lunch? Hidden feature. So lift this up, and inside here swings out a teak table. Close this off. That just nips down into there and opens that up, and then you have a really lovely teak table to set up a lunch or anything that you wanted to do like that. So I put that back in again and just pop that back into there and just pop that clip on. Storage wise, when we talk about my storage, you've got more storage under each of the seats here, so these come out. You've got storage, then also access to the backs of the speakers, and then inside there you've obviously got access to the bilge pump. You've got access to the batteries. Now both of the batteries are mounted on shock plates. I'll just show you that because I always think it's a nice feature that Cobra goes to the effort of doing that. So there's shock plates there, so if the batteries are taking a bit of a battering in a rough sea, then they're sitting really nicely on shock plates, and that keeps everything really nice and protected. Then drop that down again. Because you've got the twins, you've got the full width radar arch which goes across there. Synthetic teak decking. If you have a look around at the stern, You've got synthetic teak onto the splash well in here, and then you've also got a water intake here. So water goes into here, which then funnels into the shower, and there's a nice stainless steel shower in there. So if you're swimming, then you can come out and shower yourself off with fresh water. There is something so great about seeing twins behind the boat. So this has got twin 225s. The performance on this boat is amazing. Comfortably exceeds 50 to 55 knots, and it's just effortless. The way they feel on the water, they're so planted and so powerful. It's a really, really cool boat. We talked about sunbathing, we talked about having days on the water with your family. This boat's got an optional extra that's not on many ribs, and that is this Bimini shade. So this Bimini shade moves around the back there. That lifts up into position, comes up to about here, and then covers all the way to about there, just ahead of the driving position. And it just means on a nice hot summer's day, it takes all of the shade, all of the main direct sun out of it, and makes it a more comfortable place to be. So I think that pretty much covers everything. As you can probably tell, I really love this boat. I've been out on these several times, but this one has got so many features. It's packed with everything. It's such a head-turning rib as well. They look just $1 million on the water. And yeah, I'm really excited to do sea trials on this boat. So if you're interested in having a look at this Cobra, it is to me pretty much the epitome of a rib on the water for leisure, for sports use. I'd happily jump on this, bomb down to Dartmouth, Salcombe, see the West Country in complete comfort, and I love it. So, as always, any questions, please put them down in the comments. But this has been another Parker Adams Boat Sales walkthrough tour. Hope you've enjoyed it, and see you on the next one.